Christmas Togiai was among the top players in the ILH last season, among the top players in the state. He was really unstoppable for that Kamehameha team, who was really young last year, played a lot of guys, got a lot of different guys experience, but he was the guy that made everything go. He scored when they needed to score. He was their top defender. He rebounded the ball. He's a tough guy, former quarterback for the Kamehameha football team. And for him to take at least a little bit of a back seat here with the addition of Curbelo really shows what kind of team guy he is, and really, I guess, how good of friends they are.
And the Crusaders start off with possession. Moved around with Andre Curbelo. Bounce pass underneath, ripped away. It will stay with Long Island Lutheran. Veteran crew officiating this game: Ryan Wells, Mike Ishikawa, Eric Morales. All three have college officiating experience. That ball gets lost out of bounds. Great help by Bailey Lee, and Pinzone turns it over.
That's how Kamehameha is going to be successful, is they have to be scrappy. If the ball comes down to their level, they need to take it away.
Larry Park said, I asked him, well, what have you felt about your team's first 10 games? And the first thing he said was defense. He felt like his team has played a relentless, strong style of defense that has led them to their great start.
Larry Park was around when I was playing. He was a coach when I was playing, and the hallmark of their team
was defense. The lob for Ing! Don't let that 5'9" frame fool you. He's got hops.
Easily one of the best players in the state, most athletic players in the state, and you saw that right there.
It's the Warriors who strike first, and a foul going against Bailey Lee. But finish your point on Coach Park.
Coach Park was a part of a defensive philosophy over there at Kamehameha with Coach Jim Winchester as the head coach. They trapped and came after you and were tough, and I think that's the type of basketball he knows and he wants to instill into this young Kamehameha team.
Quick three for Hugo Bergstrom. And the rebound knocked off the bottom of the backboard and finished by Pinzone. That's going to be the challenge for Kamehameha. You got size from 1 through 5. It's like battling on the boards. That will come into play. Ing off the heel of the iron. And two players fighting for the same ball on the same team. There's a long three. No good from Zed Key. The loose ball comes off to Togiai. The veteran of the group, floater to the hole.
Strong body, strong move, took the hit, took the bump, but is able to get that soft floater off for the finish.
And what's the call? Traveling. And it's Togiai defensively with the late challenge on Curbelo.
He plays at such a good pace. You know, you look at guys and the tempo they play at. He's never rushed. He plays controlled, and you see that on both ends of the floor.
Across midcourt with Preston Ponteris. One thing about this Kamehameha Kapalama group as well, and we'll see if it becomes a factor in this game, they can launch from outside the arc. They've got a lot of guys who can hit the three. Togiai backing in. Are they going to count it? Yes, they will.
Look at the strength by Christmas Togiai, showing a little bit of that football strength. He knew what he was getting into. He went straight to the post and he called for the ball right there. No plays, no nothing. Just straight to the block, caught it, turned, finished with the hard hit.
Andre Curbelo whistled for the foul. And it is a 7-2 start for Kamehameha. Almost cut off by Kamaka. Out backing it is Key. Lee held his ground.
Lee's used to doing that out on the football field.
Kamaka thought about it. And now Togiai will settle things down. Confident off the dribble. It comes out to Ing. Ponteris, an air ball. And Key on the run. In zone, left wide open for three. Long rebound off the foot of Ng and ends up in Key's hands up front. And a whistle and a foul going against Kamehameha.
Kamehameha got to do a good job of cleaning those up. Anytime you get a long shot, you're going to get a long rebound, and the long rebounds will favor their smaller size and their quickness. But once it gets on the inside like that, they're really at the mercy of this larger Long Island Lutheran team.
Zed Key has committed to Ohio State. As we see Lever into the game for Kamehameha. You got a number of guys who've either committed or have offers to commit on this team. A very talented group. Xavier Lever gets the rebound, and Kamehameha's got a 4-point lead. Traore staying with Togiai defensively. Ng stumbles, keeps the dribble. Long three. That's short off the hands of Kamaka, and it will be Long Island Lutheran basketball.
Long Island Lutheran does a great job of staying in front, knowing that they have the length and the size advantage, so they don't have to overcommit, overpush, which makes it difficult on Kamehameha. They're going to have to hit a couple of these long ones so they can stretch them out a little bit.
Bergstrom being hassled by Ponteris. Extra pass up top. And that three is good for Kasper Klocek. And just like that, Crusaders getting within one.
Right into the game and shot ready and knocks down that three.
And there's a turnover. Klocek at the baseline. Now in the corner, Curbelo. Maybe trying to hold that baseline underneath, but the easy two up front for Traore, and Long Island's taking the lead. Yeah,
look at the ball movement by Long Island Lutheran. They might have passed it about 6 or 8 times trying to find the better option, and they finally finished with a great one right at the rim.
Ng trapped and throws it over the head of Ponteris. That's where the size on that trap comes into play at midcourt.
They closed that door really quickly. Cordell Ng has to do a little better job of attacking the basket rather than going lateral. I think a lot of cases against Hawaii competition, he might be able to get away with that, leap up, jump up, get up in the air and throw it right over. But against this type of length, it's a different story.
Curbelo. And a traveling violation called as he made the late move to try to get it up to the top of the arc. Long Island Lutheran, it's very rare that we say this because the Iolani Classic brings great teams and brings many of them back every year. As Ng gets to the tin, no. The ball comes out to Onipaapong, that's out of bounds. It's rare that we say this, but it's good that we say this. Long Island Lutheran's a newcomer to the Iolani Classic.
Yeah, we haven't seen them, but another incredible team coming to the Iolani Classic.
25-2 a year ago, finished with a number 9 ranking nationally by USA Today. Won the New York State Class AA Federation Championship. Underneath, Ng the extra pass. Shot clock down to 3, and a foul will put some more time back on the shot clock as that goes up against Curbelo. It's his second foul. So that resets kind of like in college, where the shot clock resets to 20. And Long Island Lutheran showing his own. Ng with 9. Togiai will launch. And the rebound goes off the side of the backboard and onto the Crusaders. Bergstrom looking inside. That's off the knee of Traore, and it ends up in the hands of Togiai now for Kamehameha. Kamehameha's got a little bit of a dry spell offensively. Ng trying to change that. But Togiai will, as he hesitates and gets into the lane.
Another strong controlled move by Togiai and gets it up with the left hand off the board.
Warriors retake the lead. 95 ticks left in quarter number 1. Claw check, leans in, gets the pass out. And then that gets knocked away, and the other end comes Kapehe. E.J. Kapehe, who extends the Kamehameha lead.
Nice to get an easy bucket like that in the half court. They got to really work for it to get it. So to get a transition run out is a godsend for them.
You won't get many of those, so you cherish them when they happen. Aang comes up with the knockaway. Togiai on the other end. A foul call that goes against Klacek.
I love that finish by Christmas Togiai, off leg, left hand, threw his body in, got the call.
Larry Park talked about his defense, how relentless they were, and you see in the last couple of possessions, perimeter defense, which isn't always easy. Coming through with some opportunities for the Warriors on the other end.
Yeah, Cordell Ling, one of the best athletes in the state. He can jump a pass, get his hand up, and he's long, and you know he's going to get it. He's quick. So you add that to an already set defense, and it just takes it up another notch.
Togiai, a 60.9% free throw shooter coming in, averaging just over 13 a game. And he knocks down 2. Joshua Parker comes into the game for the first time for Kamehameha. He'll give Togiai a breather. As the inbound goes into Zed Key. Nearing a minute to play here in quarter number 1. Key, Klacek, and now out left pin zone. Step back 2. That's good.
Hard to defend that, boy. That's a tough shot. Nice step back, nice control, but looks like he can hit that all day.
15-second difference between game clock and shot clock as Aang wants to take control of the dribble. Cut off by Jaden Reed. Turns it to the near side in Kanoho. Kapehe comes back out. There's 4 seconds on the shot clock. Running 2, tough shot, no good from Parker, and the shot clock's off. That time a very aggressive Crusaders defense staying home. Into the left side, Jordan. That 3 won't drop at the buzzer. People would ask the question, how long would Kamehameha hang in this game with the number 11 Long Island Lutheran Crusaders? Well, right now, they're not only hanging in the game, they're leading in the game. It's 13-10 after 1. We'll come back in just a little bit for quarter number 2 at the 2019 Iolani Classic. To 10, Kamehameha after 1 over Long Island Lutheran. Coach Dean Shimamoto, you've put down your notes early on, your takeaway from the first 8 minutes.
Kamehameha did a great job of competing with these guys. You know, they weren't outsized, they're out-muscled. Maybe they're outsized, but they weren't out-muscled in the paint. They held their own, the ball came down, they stripped it. They kept their bodies in front and limited the easy opportunities for this Long Island Lutheran team. But I think what's going to be important is to see how Long Island Lutheran plays without Andre Curbelo. Picked up 2 fouls in that first quarter, and as soon as he came out, those were the 2 turnovers. Those were the 2 runouts that they got. So 4 straight points. So we'll see, without their floor general, how this Long Island Lutheran team does.
Togiai gives it away. Pinzone with the steal. Misses the free throw, though, or the shot from the free throw line. Here comes Preston Ponteris. In rhythm for 3. His 9th 3 of the season, and the lead now 6 for the Warriors.
Yeah, he can do that.
Bailey Lee knocks it out.
Real credit to him. I think he took that first shot from the corner and he airballed it over the basket. So to be able to pull that off of the break without a second thought, you know those guys can shoot. they airball the first one, they come up firing the next one, and then get all net, you know they can shoot it.
You hit it. You got a lot of guys who are confident enough to take that three-point shot without hesitation. Ponteras finally let it go. Here's Klacek. Across the lane, nice find for Traore.
Long Island Lutheran does an exceptional job of making the extra pass. They get in, and it looks like they're going to go up and finish, but then they find their teammate for an easier shot.
Three ball for Kamaka. Confidence is contagious, and Kamehameha has got a lot of it right now. On the other end, that's good from Jaden Reed. Reed, a freshman. You don't see a lot of that. The lone freshman on that team. Kamaka cut off. Now Kapihe draws help. Ponteras is fouled. Jaden Reed picks that one up. Fourth team foul. Foul's not really an issue here early on.
After Kamehameha hit those two long threes, you started seeing the Crusaders stretch out a little more. So you're seeing a little more space for the Warriors.
Offensive foul against Togiai. Had the open three, decided he wanted a better high percentage shot. It turns into his second foul.
That was well played on defense. Not an easy defensive assignment for their big there on Tongiai, but moved his feet well, got right in front.
Kamehameha leads by 5, nearing the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. Nice crossover from Klacek in the lane, and that one will roll through. Klacek, a junior with offers his way. That's an air ball from Ponteras, maybe a little too confident in transition. That ball poked away. Ing fight, or check that, that's Kamaka fighting for it, and a foul gonna go against Klacek, his second.
Ponteras was disrupted, I think, a little bit by the 6'8" defender coming to fly out over there. It's not often that you see 6'8" coming at you, and he short-armed that a little bit, but that's understandable.
Cordell Ing picked up by Jaden Reed. Out for Kamaka. Goes baseline, extra pass Lee. Another extra pass, Ing with the kick. Kamaka can't hit the three. And the loose ball comes out to Curbelo, who's back in the game with 2 fouls. Underhand left for Reed. Can't hit the three. There's Kamaka on the board. You mentioned Curbelo. He's back in the game. He's playing with those 2 fouls. Let's see how it affects him. Ing up top for Kamaka. In and out. Kamehameha still not shy, but created a good look. Klacek, offensive foul. He's got 3. I think Larry Park's going to use the timeout here with 4:59 remaining in the half. Klacek, it almost just seemed like everything kind of froze. He's trying to figure out what to do, not really realizing Kamehameha's defense stood firm there in the paint.
Yeah, Bailey Lee is not an easy guy to miss. He's a big fella in there, and he stood right in, took it. Not often do you see a guy that's capable of knocking guys down being willing to get knocked down himself for the team. So love to see that charge for that team. He's taking one for them and doing a great job on defense. He got the ball back, prevented a layup. So great one by Bailey Lee.
You've coached against Kamehameha for many, many years. Obviously, Larry Park now in his second year. You coached against him in his first year. But describe to people the identity of what Kamehameha brings to the table as a basketball unit.
Kamehameha always has athletes, you know, and it's a matter of getting those athletes to work together and to have a common, I guess, goal. And, you know, and Coach Park, has really done a great job of that. You saw that last year. They played a lot of guys. He trusted a lot of guys to do something great and gave a lot of people opportunities. So you're seeing that pay off. You don't necessarily see that in the first year while they're getting that experience, but you'll see it in subsequent years. So you'll see that with these guys, somebody like a Ponteris or a Kamaka or a Onipa'apong, and these guys that got the chance last year are going to be able to perform.
Ing driving toward the baseline, but he lost it. And that's Curbelo with those 2 fouls, hemming him off at the baseline.
He's a veteran. He knows how to play with the fouls, and you could see that right there. He had an idea that Cordell Ing was going to attack the basket, just beat him to the spot, didn't try to muscle him, didn't put the referee in a tough position to make a call or give him his third.
Curbelo, a 4-star guard, according to 24/7 Sports. He's actually from Puerto Rico. He was born there. And 24/7 Sports listed him as the #1 player out of Puerto Rico. Here's a 3 from Bergstrom. That's good. And we're even at 19.
Kamehameha switched to the zone there just for a few possessions. Probably wanted to give it a look and see how it went, maybe be able to rest his guys a little bit. But that was a really wide open look there for Long Island Lutheran.
Ing for 3. That clanks off the back iron. Pinzone the board. Does the tide change here? That somehow lands in the hands of Traore. He finishes, and Long Island Lutheran's taking the lead.
Without that catch, without that gather, that was a turnover waiting to happen. I mean, Curbelo put it right on the money, but Kamehameha was there. Unfortunate bounce for them. Fortunate bounce for Long Island Lutheran.
Togiai in the perimeter. Lost it on his way up. And it's in the hands of Curbelo. And he's out racing everybody to the rim, but he is undercut by Ponteris. That's a hard trip to the deck for Curbelo.
Yeah, scary moment there. Curbelo got up in the air and he got caught on the hip. Slid out from under a little. Fortunate to get up and still feel okay, but you can see him talking about it.
Yeah, this is a team that's somewhat shorthanded. They're without A.K. Abu Saad. Or check that, Jalen Celestine is out, or Celestine, who committed last month to Cal. He's out with an injury. He hasn't played yet this year, and they hope that maybe he comes back and makes his debut tomorrow. As Onipa'apong will check in. Celestine, the #9 player out of New York, according to 24/7 Sports. Maybe we see him in action tomorrow. He was in the warm-up line earlier, wearing his jersey above his street clothes. Here's Cordell Ing. Good help drawn. Togiai turns, fades and fires and hits. Maybe got away with a walk, but still able to get the 2.
I think he did. I think he did.
Well, what a look underneath. That pass from Curbelo hitting a Kamehameha player as he was looking to find Paul Jordan cutting to the basket.
You could see that vision right there. We were right in line with that pass, and we saw it go through. Not many guys try that these days. It's a lot more about highlight dunks and step-back jumpers. You don't see the great passes anymore.
Pinzone, nice crossover. And the floater off the mark. Putback is a foul. That will send Zed Key to the line. First on Onipa'apong.
I think you're starting to see some of the fatigue set in for Kamehameha here. Long Island Lutherans getting to the rim with a lot more ease than they were earlier in the game, but that's what happens when you're going up against athleticism.
First one short from Key. And now we see how Kamehameha manages that. Maybe a little bit of fatigue, maybe a little bit of adjustment from Long Island Lutheran on their end. We see Lee come back. It's part of their substitution. Braden DeFries is in for the first time. That one no good as well. And Togiai's got the board. It's a 1-point game, 2:40 to go in the half. Ing draws Key out, offensive foul on Ing. And he had Zed Key on his back, but great help defense, and Ing's got his first personal.
Checking back in, number 21, EJ Kapihe.
Cordell Ing is not an easy guy to take a charge on. He's shifty. He gets up quick. But when you have 6'8" trailing you, you don't have many options to cut that back and try and avoid the charge.
Curbelo lobbing inside for Key, and he gets hit on the side by Bailey Lee. That's going to be his second foul. Not only the fatigue, but now the fouls are starting to pick up here for the Warriors.
Yeah, that's what happens with the fatigue. Usually these types of games where you can play against these types of guys, you can hang for a while you're fresh, but when both teams go to 80%, it's a whole different thing. You know, you really got to work hard to rebound and to push 6'8", 200+ pounds over and over and work for every ball, swipe at everything. You're expending a little bit extra energy every single time, so that fatigue tends to wear on as the game goes on.
That was the front end of the 1-and-1. Togiai tries to get some space. Turns, lays it in, and is harmed. Traore called for the foul. That's just good individual effort.
Yeah, so tough. So tough. I mean, took a lot of energy out of him, but I think what he gave up in energy, he got back in adrenaline when he heard that whistle and saw that ball go through the hoop for the and 1.
That gave the Warriors the lead right back. You mentioned him being a quarterback on the Kamehameha football team. That one rolls off the left side of the rim. Curbelo gets in the lane, jump stop, floater, that's good. And the lead right back to the Crusaders. Under 2 to play.
Yeah, the 2 floor generals taking it over for each of their teams. 2 great shots, 2 great finishes.
Aiden couldn't get Key to clear away, and then his pass a little bit low and off target. Gives the ball right back to Long Island Lutheran.
Good idea there by Cordell. He saw a little window but wasn't able to make the pass, but I think he made the right decision. You just don't have too big of windows when you're playing against guys of this length.
And I was about to ask you, do you think that size is playing a little bit of a part in the way he's played so far?
Yeah, you got to do everything a little bit quicker. You got to jump a little bit higher. The finish has got to be a little more precise. I mean, it's not major things, but especially for an athlete like him, it's small things, but those small things make the biggest difference.
Pin zone off the dribble. Turns, lost it. Togiai coming in, can't jar it free. And nearly thrown out of bounds. Shot clock now at 7. Curbelo. Open is Traore. As the shot clock winds down, loose ball. Who touched it last? Bailey Lee did. And a fresh 20 for Long Island Lutheran.
Yeah, you hate to see that if you're on the Kamehameha sideline. They played great defense, forced a late clock, tough shot, but weren't able to grab the rebound.
Nice flash across the lane, and the score for Traore, the 6'8" junior.
They got what they call a little flex cut coming around for an easy layup for a big.
Togiai step back 2, all net.
That wasn't a step back, that was a step leap.
Under a minute to go, the 3 no good from Bergstrom, out of bounds to Kamehameha.
What a shot by Togiai.
Christmas came early for Christmas Togiai.
That's right.
With that jumper.
No, and he's feeling it too.
So a 10-second difference between game clock and shot clock. Warriors within 1. And the inbound coming into Cordell Ing. You mentioned his brother Cameron comes off the bench for the University of Hawaii. Cordell, kick out right, 3-ball to Freeze, no. And the shot clock will turn off for Long Island Lutheran. Chance to hold on to this lead going into the locker room. Ponteras staying right with Hugo Bergstrom, the ball handler. Down to 8. There's a screen. Good help by Togiai. Taken away by Ing. Will he get this off in time? He will, and Kamehameha will have the lead going into the half.
What a big play there by Cordell Ing. He just sits and waits like a free safety. saw the drive, read the play, jumped it. I thought it was going to be showtime, but he knows what kind of game this is. This is not a, not any preseason game where they're down by 20 or they're up by 20. This is a game where that 2 points really matters, and he made sure he got that one in before the buzzer.
Yeah, clock played a factor. Ing finishes, and Kamehameha has a 27-26 lead on Long Island Lutheran as we hit halftime. We'll come back in a few moments, give you some numbers, get you ready for the second half on what is looking out to be a pretty exciting close to day number 1. The 2019 Iolani Classic live on BallerTV. We'll come back. What a way to close out day number 1 of the 2019 Iolani Classic with what has been a good, fun first half. Kamehameha Kapalama and Long Island Lutheran, and it's Kamehameha holding a 27-26 lead on the Crusaders. Back with the coach, Dean Shimamoto. I'm Josh Pacheco. You look at the first half, and you use the term Super Houston, talking about Kamehameha, talking about Christmas Togiai, who, by the way, 15 points, leading all scorers in the first half. Describe that Super Houston analogy you gave me earlier.
Yeah, the tempo that these two guards play with is very similar to the Houston Rockets duo of James Harden and Russell Westbrook. You have the dynamic, athletic, explosive Russell Westbrook, a very similar game and style to Cordell Ing going to the rim, and you have Christmas Togiai, he has that old man game, that strength of the football player, plays at a good tempo, never really gets sped up, but uses his body well. You saw the super step back or the step leap, a la James Harden, and was able to knock that down, and he got some and ones on the inside. So, there's that craftiness to that James Harden game and the explosiveness to the Cordell Ing Westbrook type of game, and I think that's what's keeping them afloat here. When it's not one, it's the other. And we talked about fatigue a little bit, and I think these guys seem to be sharing the load so much that they're not getting quite as fatigued as they would be if it was them by themselves. So I'm looking forward to an exciting second half.
Togiai with 15 points leads all scores. Cordell Ing has 4, including the 2 that gave Kamehameha the lead going into the locker room. Long Island Lutheran, they are led by Drisa Traore, who's got 8 points. I think the one name, you were talking about him a little earlier, Zed Key, has been held to 1 point, 1 of 5 from the free throw line, and everything else has just been kind of scattered from there. So who from Long Island Lutheran kind of steps forward in the second half?
Well, I think Curbelo is going to step forward. I mean, he's that guy. But who needs to step forward is Zed Key. Their advantage is on the inside, and he's an Ohio State commit. He's a 6'8" guy with an athletic build, and he needs to really impose his will in there and get some finishes. I mean, that if he's able to do that, it's going to be a much tougher task for Kamehameha to pull this one out.
Quickly inside, and a foul on Bailey Lee before Zed Key can do anything with the basketball, and Bailey Lee's just picked up his 3rd foul.
They went right into him. They want to get him going. They know he's one of their guys, and mid-posted him 3 feet from the basket. So hard to stop.
This time the lob comes in, and the put in for Traore, who gives Long Island Lutheran the lead back.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a steady dose of Traore and Key every time down, at least when they're in that half-court set.
Lee fouled by Hugo Bergstrom. Key at 6'8", Traore at 6'8". And you got Bailey Lee underneath at 6'5".
But wide.
Yeah. And Larry Park staying with them. Even with the 3 fouls, he's not doing anything differently here early. Cordell Ing trying to back his way through. Out of bounds, he touched it last.
Tried to turn the corner there, but the big body didn't let him. He saw the kick to the wide side, but wasn't able to get it out to that corner.
Quickly, Long Island Lutheran gets it ahead as Kamehameha's defense was a little asleep, and Ponteris is whistled for the foul, and Key, who has struggled from the free throw line, will head there now.
The way that play was made, it's almost as though the coach said it has to touch the inside first. You saw a wide open shot passed up to try and get it back inside for a finish by Key.
That no good. See some of the encouragement from Traore and Curbelo. Trying to get him back in focus.
Has to get used to that ocean air.
Not there either. And Paliku Kamaka comes up with the board. Christmas Togiai, Cordell Ing, we mentioned Bailey Lee, and Preston Ponteris on the floor for Kamehameha. Togiai taking it into the paint, defender slips. What a dump in underneath for Lee.
Togiai putting on a show, a little bit of everything from him.
Lee and Key are battling underneath, and a foul away from the ball is going to go against Traore. I was watching the battle underneath with Lee and Key battling each other for positioning inside the paint. Traore outside the three-point line was called for the offensive foul. Ing with room. Fouled by Key.
The two dynamic guards doing it all.
And Key thought he was fine, kept his arms straight up, his body was turned to the side. Cordell Ing scored 31 on Saturday against Marinol in that 4-point loss. 6 of 9 from the foul line, hit a couple of threes in that game. First free throw's good. And the lead extends to 2 for Kamehameha. But he and his brother Cameron, we saw them at St. Francis when they played together for a few years. The hops and the ability to shoot, two things that hard to match across the state. Kind of their unique way of pulling all that off.
Yeah, they had that brotherly connection too, that special little language that they're able to speak and understand about each other and find each other at all times.
Easy two there for Traore, traversing through a lot of the mud there in the paint as they were able to get that through. Crusaders back within 1.
Inside, inside, inside.
Well, Togiai had Lee right there, but Lee could not hold on to the ball. A chance for the lead. Here's Curbelo, a foul before the pass. And that will be Paliku Kamaka's first. You talk about it really getting home in the paint with Key and Traore, but certainly Curbelo has had a big part of making sure that that happens with his ball handling and his penetration, opening things up in the lane. Pin zone attacks. Can't finish that. Key just snatches the rebound out of the air, scores, and is fouled. His first field goal, he had nothing except a free throw in the first half. Now starting to find something offensively. The foul, the second on Kamaka.
You could see that frustration being released a little bit there, but knowing that he has to go back to the free throw line where he hasn't had a lot of success lately.
1 of 7. Making 1 of 8. Good box out by Togiai, allowing his teammate to get the rebound. The pressure comes. Ing gets his man up in the air. Togiai for the lead. Rebound Traore, but the pass cut off by Ing. He'll step back and launch. Togiai, what a pass out of the air! And the finish.
So much awareness, so much ability and great vision by Togiai.
Kamaka was the one who got the lay-in. Kamehameha leading by 1. Curbelo cut off by Lee. Reed is open. And the lead right back to the Crusaders as we go back and forth. And Long Island Lutheran will use a timeout.
That was a big hit by Reed. They're getting everything on the inside. Nearly a foul there on the baseline. Found the wide kick for the open rainbow three-pointer.
And now you're seeing a little bit of the jockeying, seeing assistants on both ends, trying to tell officials on each side, hey, watch for this, watch for this, watch for that. Close game like this, you want no margin for error.
No,
point out every little thing.
This is a 2-point game in the first round of the Iolani Classic. The winner goes to the winner's bracket. The loser's bracket is a whole different story. You're playing in the mornings, in the early afternoons, versus playing at night against some of the top teams in the country. So This is going to be a hard-fought finish.
Winner gets the 3:30 in the afternoon game on Thursday. Loser will play at 12:30 in the afternoon. So you won't get the 9 a.m. game. That's going to be a plus. But certainly, or 9:30 I think is the first game. But regardless, right now it's wide open in this battle to see who goes on to the afternoon slate. They got to hurry across midcourt. They do on the pass floated to Ponteris. Ponteris in the corner. Cordelling now at 6. That floater blocked in the air by Key. Size matters there. The outlet for Curbelo. Skip to Klacek, and he throws it over Pinzone's head and over his bench.
Klacek had the easy swing there, decided to attack it to get his shooter a little more open, but threw it wide and high.
That's taken away. Pinzone forced the steal, and Curbelo with the flush. And a foul on the other end. That will be Pinzone's first. But defense, you see a slightly different Crusaders team here in this second half. Offensively, try to get it inside. Defense, trying to be a little more aggressive in the perimeter. Wide open is Ponteris, and he hits for 3.
So much confidence in that stroke. He had that turnover for a dunk, came right back and drilled the quick one from the corner.
Ball nearly poked away for a turnover, but instead Curbelo is right there to retrieve it. A lob it for Key. Into the paint, and Reed missed it short. He had a good look. Ing pushing ahead. But that's cut off, looking for Kapihe in the corner.
Key had really deep post position on the inside, but as soon as that pass was lofted in there, Lever did a good job of pushing him off the post, caught it 8 feet, and couldn't make that drop step pound move. Kept him away from the basket.
That's an important reminder when you talk to those post players, and you mentioned with Lever, is if they're going to get the ball, make sure they're getting the ball. If they're going to have their back to the bucket where it's not right at that low block, if you can push them out a little bit, that gives you a little bit better chance at least to have a favorable possession defensively.
Yeah, you have so many stretch 4s and 5s that like to step out on the three-point line and shoot from out there that I don't know how many reps guys get entering it into the post. And, you know, post entries are a lost art at this point. While Key had position in there, the Long Island Lutheran player making that post entry was able to zip it in there while he's able to hold his position. He's 3 feet from the basket versus 8, and that might be 2 points versus not getting the score. So, you know, the post entry pass when your big is working hard is so important.
Inbound thrown in for Togiai. Nice dish. That 2 won't go for Lever, and the loose ball comes into Pinzone's hands. Curbelo across for Reed, and the extra pass Curbelo. Pinzone in and out. Kapihe comes up with the rebound, and he'll bring it up himself. With nobody stopping ball, and Kapihe gives it away. Too much space for him. Curbelo to the rim. Good, and 1.
That was an incredibly tough finish. Fading outside, left hand, was able to float that back up without knocking it on the backboard and getting it to go.
Curbelo committing last month to Illinois. Kind of a middle of the pack Big Ten team.
Yeah, he's a playmaker. You can see him. You can see him when he's attacking. You know, you don't know what he's going to do. He always has his head up. If there's not a score opportunity, he's looking to find a shooter, find one of his teammates.
Dangerous pass. To get it out of the air. Togiai blocked by Key. Larry Park looks right at Preston Ponteris and wants him back in the game. Giving Roland a breather. That was dangerous there for a moment. Ponteris nearly launched it, but a whistle and a reach-in going to go against Aiden Reed.
I'm looking down this Kamehameha roster, and it looks as though nearly every player on Kamehameha has gotten into this game. It's a 4-point game and a tough game against a great team, and Coach Park is still finding ways to get different guys in and giving them opportunities.
A pass knocked away, and it's taken by Pinzone. It's the biggest lead Long Island Lutheran has had. It's at 6 with 2:35 left in the third. Togiai going 1-on-3. That's no good. The loose ball out to Ing. Ponteris pull up. Rebound still tapped in the air, and it goes to Reed. Reed racing into the lane. No good. Out of bounds to Kamehameha. I feel like some of those shots, Coach, that just missed, they probably would have fallen in the first half for Kamehameha.
Yeah, the fatigue, it definitely matters. But, you know, these guys are having to rush a little bit more. They're speeding them up with this press. They're stretching them out. So not always do you get a steal off of press. Sometimes you force someone to do something that's uncharacteristic. Like that.
Pinzone going to the rim. He's fouled. Ing was looking for, as the foul goes against Ponteris, he was looking, it looked like, for Togiai in the middle of the court, and he was kind of twisted up with one of the Long Island Lutheran players, and I don't think he saw the ball kind of zip over his head, lead to that turnover.
Yeah, I think he was trying to lead him. It looked like almost like a lob pass into the post, but it caught Togiai leaning the wrong way, so when that ball went over, he wasn't running forward to the ball.
Kamehameha had the lead at half. It's turned into a 6-point Long Island Lutheran lead as the Crusaders have been given a tremendous challenge by Kamehameha, the representative of the Interscholastic League of Honolulu. You're watching Larry Park, who saw him call for that timeout right after that foul. I'll put your coach hat on here. What do you think he's saying right now in the huddle?
Well, I know on both sides they want quality possessions. They're saying this is a big one, we need to stop. This is a big one, we need to take a good shot. 6 points with the potential of 8 or 9 is a big difference versus 6 to 3. So, I mean, they're drawing up something to get a great look. Most likely it's going to involve Christmas Togiai and or Cordell Ing, but you also have guys like Ponteris and Kamaka ready to shoot, or even your bigs ready to finish. So they have a lot of threats out there on the offensive end. Long Island Lutheran is just going to use their length again. You know, they're going to do their best to stay in front.
Andre Curbelo to bring it in off the timeout. The lob up for Key. He's bumped, recovers, and Eric Morales is going to call a travel. And John Buck, Long Island Lutheran's head coach, is perplexed.
It was a travel.
Yes, it was. I was going to let you say that first. 1:51 to go in the third.
There may have been a little extra bump there, but it was a travel.
Ing will fire. That's no good. He's been a little cold from the floor. Still making plays. But another opportunity for Kamehameha, and Togiai's got it. Splits the defenders. Runner. Deadens off the back rim, but misses. Ing gets hammered by Key going for the loose ball. And Zed Key picks up foul number 2.
Just like on the offensive end, Long Island Lutheran has to impose their will by using their size to gain an advantage. And you saw 2 offensive rebounds there by the Kamehameha Warriors.
Both teams will be in the bonus the rest of the way, as 16 fouls on each. Ponteris will launch and hit. That looked like that may have been slightly beyond his range, but that line driver goes. Lead cut in half.
I don't know where his range is. He gets it off quick.
Key, offensive foul. Lee takes the charge. And Zed Key's picked up his third foul. It takes a lot to take Bailey Lee down. That one took him down.
His second charge. Taking a charge for a smaller, undersized big when you're going in this type of game, it's like a block shot. We talked about it earlier in the earlier game. It's you can't go up, and he's not going to go flying around and putting balls into the second row, but he can stand his ground and be positioned and take away an opportunity for the other team.
Ponteris finds Lee, but he can't hang on. It's the second time they've had a good pass toward Lee. He hasn't been able to finish. Curbelo the other way. That rolls off. Key finishes, though, with the tip.
There's Key cleaning it up, doing what he should be doing, taking advantage of his size.
Shot clock is off. Final 20 seconds of the third. Togiai brings it out. Splits defenders, leans in, no good. Key the rebound, 4 seconds. Curbelo, will he get it off? He does, and he misses. And it is still a tight game leading to the fourth quarter. Long Island Lutheran holding on to a 44-39 lead over Kamehameha. The finish when we come back to the 2019 Iolani Classic on BallerTV. About to start the fourth quarter here at the 2019 Iolani Classic. Final game of day number one. It's a good one. Long Island Lutheran leading Kamehameha 44-39. And the Warriors will take a first crack at the scoreboard here in the fourth quarter. Cordell Ling, his brother Cameron, is sitting to the right of the Kamehameha bench. A guard for the University of Hawaii basketball team. Ing, no one home. And Curbelo's gonna race ahead. Hugo Bergstrom for three. Rims out, Key comes up with the board, but it's ripped out by Togiai. Togiai leans in, knocked out. Oh, we're gonna get a late whistle. That's gonna go against Long Island Lutheran. That should be Curbelo's third. Almost a break there for Togiai. They're gonna call that on the shot.
Yeah, a little bit of a delayed call, but I think it was the right one. It looked like he might have caught him on the arm.
Christmas Togiai has had a fantastic evening. He hits the first free throw. If you're Larry Park, I mean, I feel like you want to give him a brief breather, but you kind of feel like you can't at the same time. Now he's got to finish this one out.
Yeah, he's been using all his veteran tricks. You can see he's used 3 timeouts. He's subbed nearly every guy on his roster. He's mixed up defenses, just trying to limit the fatigue. And hey, his team's down 3 into the fourth quarter against nationally ranked Long Island Lutheran.
Curbelo away from the screen. Floats it up for Pinzone. Pull up. That's good. Rafael Pinzone transferred to this school from Suwanee, Georgia. Togiai going one-on-one. No good. May have been tipped on the way up. Racing ahead, they find Key underneath, hesitating, and harmed by Bailey Lee. That's 4 now on Bailey Lee.
If you're going to commit a foul there, you need to commit a hard foul. These are big guys. You can't just slap an arm. If you slap an arm, it's an and one. So you got to make sure that they don't get that ball off. Make them earn it from the free throw line. And with Key's struggles thus far, you really need to make him earn it.
1 of 8 from the free throw line in this game. And it is 1-1. 1 of 9. And Lee comes up with a rebound. Still a 2-possession game and lots of time. Togiai cut off. He'll try again. Ng will fire. Too strong, but Ponteris is right there and he'll clean it up. The smallest man on the floor going right around Zed Key. Now the other end, Key, the reverse flush.
What a great setup by Curbelo. Key's been struggling on the inside, but when you get passes like that, they're easy to finish.
Ponteris for Cordell Ing. Set back by Bergstrom. Togiai hesitates, looks inside. Parker inside for Lee. Not necessarily the prettiest way of getting that done, but Parker found Lee in the paint and he scores. Curbelo, not there, but Key goes over Lee's back and a foul gonna go on who? Is it gonna be on Bailey Lee? If it is, he's done. And it is on Bailey Lee, he's fouled out.
Yeah, Bailey Lee did everything he could there. He knew he had Key on his back and he had him tight, so he just tried his best to block him out. Draw the over the back call. But again, put him back to the line. So, you know, I mean, he's out of the game and they're gonna lose his efforts in there, but in a game like this, these 2 points could matter.
So Xavier Lever will bring his size into this contest. It is, they called it a 2-shot foul, so they said it was after the rebound on his way up. So Key shooting 2 free throws. That one is no good. Make it 1 of 10. I have not seen, even from people like Shaquille O'Neal, numbers like 1 of 10.
No, you know, speaking of Shaquille O'Neal, I mean, this could be their best defensive plan is, you know, I mean, really, truthfully, a Hackashack at 1 for 10. At 1 for 10, it's, you know, 10% chance, and he may have missed his last however many a row.
1 of 11. Rebound, Cordell Ing. That keeps it a 1-possession game. Togiai turns, tries to look inside, on the ground, Lever, timeout. Did they get the timeout? Yes, they did. They hold on to the possession. Larry Park uses his timeout. Good. Yes, they hold on to possession. Bad. They've got 1 timeout left with 5:13 remaining.
Yeah, you got to go and, you know, you can't have any bullets left at this one. So, I mean, yeah, you got 1, but you needed that possession. Everyone counts. And, you know, you got to make – I think what's important about this is you used your second to last timeout. You have 1 remaining. So you better make it count. You better get something out of it. Don't just waste it. Don't just call it a possession timeout. Get something out of this timeout. Run something great. Give your guys an advantage coming out of it.
Lever, Cordell Ing, Paliku Kamaka, Christmas Togiai, and Preston Ponteris on the floor for Kamehameha. The Crusaders bringing back Andre Curbelo, Rafael Pinzone, Hugo Bergstrom, Zed Key, and Kasper Klawczek off the bench. Inbound, thrown in high in the air for Cordell Ing. Inside and open is Lever. What a fine for Lever. The defense falling asleep on the backside.
Yeah, miscommunication by Long Island Lutheran resulted in an easy bucket for Lever.
You knew they were, as you were talking about, trying to get something on that possession. Curbelo misses, Key follows it up. You knew they were trying to get something on that possession. You didn't think it was going to be that.
No, not at all, but still got the two and
Togiai gets across midcourt. A one possession game. For three, this is Kamaka. Rebound taken by Pinzone. Up ahead is Hugo Bergstrom. Key wants it. They won't get it there. Now Curbelo finds him. He's back about 14 feet away. Backing down Lever. He'll get it back. Key turns and hits.
It's almost worth considering fouling him in that situation when he gets that deep.
Halfway through the fourth quarter, Togiai pull up. What a night for Christmas Togiai. Lead down to 2.
When they need it, he gets it.
Curbelo spins in the lane. Challenged, fouled. Poliku Kamaka picks up his third foul with 3:45 left. Puerto Rican-born Andre Curbelo, you can see how much he's poured into this game, really making a lot of things work, getting inside the key, not necessarily a ton offensively. He's played through some foul trouble, but he misses that first free throw. It almost feels like you watch him and how much he's worked. You see him a little fatigued right now.
Yeah, he's putting a lot into it on both ends of the floor. And as you said, it may not be the point production for him, but he's gotten a lot of guys involved, and you can see him controlling the tempo out there, getting the things when they need it, very similar to Christmas Togiai on the other end.
Kapihe in the lane, fouled by Key. That's 4 on the big man. EJ Kapihe at 6'4", taking it right to the senior Key. Two free throws gets him back within 1 with 3:33 on the clock. That one won't do it.
Warriors are fearless. You know, they come in there, they attack these guys. They're not worried about who they are, where they're going. They're in their home, and they're coming after it.
Both miss. Pinzone drives and dishes for Key, but it's loose on the ground and taken away by Kapihe. Togiai nearly gets it poked away. He'll drive. Bucket's good and 1. Chance for the tie here. Pinzone called for the foul. Timeout, Long Island Lutheran. And with 3:11 remaining, a free throw from Christmas Togiai can even this game at 53.
I just saw James Harden-like flashback there. You know, Pinzone thought he had it, tried to jump that behind the back move, then he got hit right back with it, attacked the rack, and he caught Key with his 4 fouls, not able to challenge that shot. So Pinzone drew the foul, but I think in most cases, Key would have gone up to try and erase that, but he can't risk getting that 5th. So you saw that part coming into play here. So maybe those guys have to be a little bit more tentative on the board, and that's leading to a slight advantage for the Kamehameha Warriors coming down the stretch with just over 3 minutes left.
That is great awareness. That's veteran awareness, really, from someone like Togiai. Knowing who's on the floor, the situation they're in, and taking advantage of it. And a fairly good free throw shooter, too. Like I mentioned, about 61% coming in. He's looked better than that in this game. Cordell Ling hasn't done much offensively, but it's been Togiai. Preston Ponteris has hit a few big shots here in this game. And Kamehameha is still with a chance here.
Yeah, their presence on the floor, they're threats, and that's enough. So the defense can't help quite as much. They got to stay next to Ponteris, because if it gets out to him, they can knock it down. So you're one step away. That means there's no help when a drive comes through. Yeah.
Kamehameha has 47 wins in the Iolani Classic. It's the second most of any team in the history of the event. Won 5 consolation bracket championships. We're not talking about consolation bracket right now. We're talking about a spot in the winner's bracket. Cordell League's gonna take it away. And he is blocked on his way up by Curbelo. Both guys were side by side. Curbelo in the lane. Kicks right for Bergstrom for the lead. No good. Rebound Togiai. Togiai gets by Reed. Floater. No. Reed the board. A little fast and furious. There's a few guys slipping on the floor for Long Island Lutheran. Curbelo cut off. Bergstrom gets it inside to Key. Key pushed out. Reed to the rim. No! Key the follow in midair. And they're going to stop play to wipe up the floor on the other side, where 2 different Crusaders went down. But Key with the 2-hand tap to give the Crusaders the lead back.
You saw Cordell Ing jump that passing lane, get out in front of Curbelo. Against Hawaii competition, no one is challenging him on that layup, but Curbelo, nearly as athletic as Cordell Ing, getting up and erasing that shot, saving a bucket.
Ing terminates his dribble. Dangerous pass, and it's taken away by Curbelo. Togiai challenges. The layup is good and one. And just like that, the game changes.
Curbelo is a game changer. He's that guy for this team and has been all game. But you see him breathing hard. He's putting everything into it, not just on offense, getting that steal on defense and getting the and one finish.
Free throw no good though. Rebound poked free. It is won by the Crusaders. Curbelo hanging on to his coach. That's gonna go out of bounds. And Ryan Wells admonishing the coaching staff here. Curbelo literally trying to stay in bounds, grabbed his coach's shirt to try to stay in. An official, Ryan Wells, said, no, you're out of bounds.
Yeah, once he touches his coach who's standing out of bounds, it becomes an out of bounds on both of them.
I have never seen that. 1:50 to go. Ponteris running the point this time. Ing looking to create, stumbles, gives it away. And Reed racing ahead and throws it behind the head of Traore. Still life.
This is Christmas Tongiai time. Cordell Ing, 2 unfortunate turnovers there, but this is Christmas Tongiai time. He's going to get a touch on this one.
And here it is. Go get in the lane, through 2 defenders, and draws a foul. 2 free throws coming, and that's going to be the 3rd on Rafael Pinzon. You don't see a lot of movement there. Really, everything kind of stalled on that set. Decided to take it on his own.
Yeah, I think that was in his mind from the beginning. I think he would love to have seen Kapie clear the post there so that he had the opportunity to get a clearer lane to the basket. But Pinzon got caught not moving his feet, gave him a little extra nudge. It's been a physical game the whole way, so I think sometimes those guys aren't sure that that's quite a foul.
1 possession game now. Key is back in with his 4 fouls. Xavier Lever is in for Kamehameha. And they've got him all the way back on the other side of the floor. So they're kind of giving up, in a sense, the offensive board for making sure nothing beats them by defensively. That's no good. Rebound, Togiai's got it! Out to Ing, and the pass for Ponteris is knocked out. What a huge offensive board.
They weren't trying to get the offensive board, sent all their bigs back, but they got it anyway.
And now a 3 can tie the game. Kamaka is going to take out Lever. So, or no, check that. He's going to take out Kapihe. So somewhat of a smaller lineup here.
This would be a great time for Kamehameha to maybe set a high ball screen with Key, force him to guard Tongiai with his 4 fouls, pop those shooters in the corner and give him some space.
Tongiai giving it to Preston Ponteris. Back to Tongiai. 9 to shoot. Tongiai for the tie. That's short, and the rebound to pin zone under a minute to go. John Buck says, let's hold on here. Time is on your side. Curbelo's going to drive anyway. That's good. 2-possession game, 45 seconds left and counting. Kamaka fakes. Tongiai, he'll try another 3. That's short. Rebound to Curbelo, and Kamehameha is going to have to foul. And they finally will. They foul Curbelo with 32.6 left. And maybe the last gasp there. Ponteris' 4th foul.
Well, Tongiai is the guy you want with the ball in his hands in that moment. You'd probably like to see him attack the basket a little bit harder. That was a deeper 3.
Oh, door's open. Still a 2-possession game regardless of what happens with this next free throw.
But I'm sure he'll get another opportunity coming back down for Kamehameha.
The freeze will give Lever a rest. Key comes out with his 4 fouls, so defense subbing in for offense. That free throw good. And a timeout taken by Long Island Lutheran. One of the 3 they had remaining. So with 32.6 seconds left, the shot clock is still on. Not a position here where it's a 3 or nothing. You still got time to get to the rim.
You're looking for a 3. If you can get a quick 2, I think that's okay too, especially the way that Long Island Lutheran's been shooting free throws. But what I think is going to happen is Long Island Lutheran may elect to stretch out their defense, pick them up 3-quarter. And 3-quarter doesn't have to mean that you're coming out and pressuring. You can call it a press, but that doesn't mean pressure. Sometimes presses are meant for the other team to take time. And with 32.6 remaining, if 10 seconds come off the clock in this scenario, then Kamehameha may not have enough possessions left or enough time left to get enough possessions to make up this lead, especially with the fouls and the free throws and everything coming back. So you may see Long Island Lutheran stretch it out to 3-quarter court and just play it back, not giving anything quick.
Both teams are in the double bonus. If a foul is whistled either way. And Kamehameha will have to go the length of the floor on the inbound. It looks like Long Island Lutheran will wait back at midcourt to pick up. There's the touch to start the clock. Tongiai leaning, short, gets his own rebound, can't finish. And the foul to stop the clock with 23.8 to go. And you can see all that effort he's put in. The shot's missing short. Tells you a little bit about how much he's expended here in this game.
Yeah, those are tough shots. Floaters are not easy ones, especially when you have been playing this whole game at the level that he's been playing it at.
Claw check to shoot free throws. Casper spelled K-A-C-P-E-R. It's now a 3-possession game. He's got offers from Bradley, Santa Clara, and Washington State. Now they'll back everybody off the line for this second free throw. That's around and out. Eng nearly ran without the basketball after getting the rebound. Leans, his 3, no good. And he'll go out of bounds to Long Island Lutheran. Eng was trying to play for contact. 15 seconds and a foul. That will stop the clock. This was an enticingly close game up to maybe about a minute or so ago, and Long Island Lutheran has found a way to pull away.
An incredible game for both sides. You know, Long Island Lutheran is obviously expecting to be in the winner's bracket, trying to advance, get to the semis, hopefully get to the finals. So this game, if anything, is a wake-up for them, gets them warmed up, gets them ready to go and saying, hey, you're in Hawaii. This is no joke. You're not on vacation. You're not here to look at the beautiful skies and the sunny weather and the ocean out your hotel window. You're here to play and wake up.
Togiai hits the three. It's 63-57. And Kamehameha is not going to foul. They'll let this run out. Boy, this one was close. And Kamehameha gave Long Island Lutheran everything it could handle, but in the end, the Crusaders will advance to